Hello, everybody, and welcome to Off Topic Hash Podcast, where we're going to talk about StarCraft, which
really?
is on topic, but it's kind of off topic. I don't know. fiatjaf, what about StarCraft are we going to talk about?
Well, Protoss always loses. It's a boring game. The Zerg can always do a Russian like with the Hydras, and then they win. And if they don't win, they still are in a better position. So it's kind of shitty.
Okay. But now you can experience all of that in 2.5D.
Is that what you want to talk about?
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about.
Did you manage to get that?
No, I didn't manage to get it working, unfortunately.
Okay, so we cannot really experience it.
Right. But
the video from the guy was very cool.
yeah, it looks interesting. It does look, so to explain, it's like I think Brute War is isometric, right? I'm pretty sure. Anyway, what?
The explanation is actually I don't know how it works, but apparently you can decode a replay file in a browser using JavaScript or something, and then you display the stuff that's happening in your browser without having to have a StarCraft game running. And you can also do these magic camera moves, right?
Yes, but the point is the 2.5D thing, right?
Yeah. No. Well, to me, it would be already very interesting if you could just click on a replay and display it in your mouse without having to launch that thing from 30 years ago, right?
I see. Okay, so you're fascinated by the stupid browser stuff. I wanted to talk about the 2.5D thing.
What is the deal with 2.5D?
Because it's a 2D game. It's StarCraft is like a two-dimensional game because it's flat. There are, of course, levels to it where you do have. I think the perspective is isometric. Anyway, all the buildings, for example, they're flat images, but they're actually 3D rendered structures, and then they just took a 2D flat snapshot of them, stuck those on. So you should be able to do some fancy rendering and like sort of make it 3D. So you can like pan or tilt your
it's
camera.
Not really 2D because you can go behind things.
Yeah. Like you have levels, so it's so you have like air and high ground and not so high ground, and then ground and low ground.
There's also that amazing thing that happens sometimes that the guy hides a High Templar behind the extractor.
Yeah, or a tree.
It's called.
Yeah, you can hide behind trees.
And then when the mutas came.
Did you know that?
I've seen it, but never seen it being used. I've seen it being used behind the thing that extracts gas. And then the guy just arrives and starts killing probes with the mutas, and then all the mutas die.
Yeah, okay, but that's not... I meant you can actually hide behind trees in StarCraft.
Completely hide.
Yeah, so it does affect like hit chances. It's like I don't know if it's the exact same percentage.
You just don't see the thing. It does affect.
Yeah, it does affect. Units miss.
I don't
yes, it's as if it's on high ground. I don't know if it's the exact same percentages, but yes, it does increase the hit chances. If your unit is behind a tree.
If you were right about this, then Tasteless and Artots would have talked about it.
But you've never heard it?
Have talked. No. They always talk the same things over and over in every game, but they never mentioned that.
What is Crazy Zerg, fiatjaf?
Crazy Zerg?
Yes.
Crazy Zerg is when you don't do the lurkers and you go straight to the big elephant. Right?
Yes.
Oh,
you go straight to the big elephant. That's how it works.
Why are we asking this?
No, I was trying to buy time. Okay, so
what is SK Terran?
From Liquipedia, misses. Only ranged attacks have hit or miss detection. Melee units will always hit their target whenever attacking. There are 4 cases in which a miss can occur by a ranged attacker. So before I'm going to read this, as far as I'm aware, there's always a miss chance. I think it's the 1 in 256. Anyway. So first, the target is underneath a certain doodad, which blocks a percentage of attack. Trees, signs, etc. That's number 1, Mr. fiatjaf. 2, the attacking unit is on low ground, while the targeted unit is on high ground. The attacking unit is attempting to attack underneath Dark Swarm. With any ranged attack, there is a very slight chance of an airshot miss for no apparent reason. It is likely programmed into the game. What do they mean with likely programmed into the game?
Well, they didn't see the actual program. I remember when Flash was playing the ASL as Randall, and then Artosis kept saying that if you pick the blue color, there's a high chance you get Terran. Like if you are blue Randall,
the RNG manipulator.
I don't think this is true at all. I don't think there's no chance someone could have made this bug in the code, because it has nothing to do with anything. I think
it doesn't necessarily make sense to me either. The thing you have it with like old games on like the Nintendo or Super Nintendo and stuff, like a lot of the RNG manipulation is like because of memory buffers and shit. Because things need to be it's like very raw in like the memory allocation that things occur, where you have this RNG manipulation stuff going on. I don't know how that would work within Brute War. Anyway, yes, it is apparent. But what do you mean it's likely programmed into the game? It's just a stupid phrase. Anyway, so I was right.
Everything is programmed into the game, right? Everything that happens.
Technically, it might also be like, how do you call that? Like background radiation stuff going on. Like some star supernova bit shifting.
Yeah. Then you miss.
Bit rot. Yeah, because of the stars, you miss.
Yeah.
Anyway, so no, the main reason I wanted to talk about StarCraft is because for some reason there is like a revival going on. I see people making Brute War content. I see all these mods coming out.
Really?
There are like a bunch of campaign mods all of a sudden. And they're like not lazy easy. They're like ones that took some time and dedication and effort and skill in order to produce them. So for some, like the stars aligned, and
so StarCraft is going to survive.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Because
and
there
Pizu
apparently
is going to play until he's 50 or something like that.
Flash is never gonna come back.
Flash has already came back.
No, he's playing the ladder. That's not.
That's the same.
That's not the same. It's not the same thing.
What about fantasy? Like he won that tournament, and then is he playing or not?
I don't know.
Just came out of nowhere. Like I haven't played in 10 years. I came here, I beat a bunch of top guys, and then I go back to whatever I'm doing.
Oh, that's baller. I don't think we've explained the 2.5D thing.
No,
already.
First we have to explain what is SK Terran and why it has this name.
Well, why, fiatjaf?
Well, you're the Terran player.
Oh, that's true. Wasn't it like a dude?
Yeah,
that's
what I just said. Yeah, the dude was called Soki.
Oh, right, yeah.
But it's
and
not
he played
the same
like
Soki.
that. No, not Solki, but not Soki.
Oh, Soki.
I think.
Oh, I see.
I don't think it's
Okay.
Solki. This is very good content. This is amazing.
Well,
Especially
we're
with the
gonna
fact that
release this as another podcast.
Yes.
Separate.
Yes, this
So
one's
people
about
can skip it.
StarCraft Revival. So is that what we're gonna do? We're just gonna we're gonna spew out bullshit into like the ether, and then
Yes.
make it as an excuse. It's like no, but it's like all the bullshit is in like separate topics, so you can just skip.
Yes. Well,
What's the point of all of this? Welcome everybody to therapy session, fiatjaf's therapy session #podcast, where I don't know, fiatjaf is bored, so he kind of wants to do this for an hour. Are we gonna talk about Ocean?
what's the deal with the 2.5?
Okay, so it's a 2D game, but it's like I think it's like similar to the thing they do with if you have AI images right now, they're able to like move the head a little bit. You know, they move.
I don't
the head
like
a little.
AI.
Yeah, you don't like AI. That's a
very
very relevant response to the stuff that I'm talking about. StarCraft is in 2.5 D. Also, fiatjaf doesn't like AI.
Why are you bringing AI to this conversation?
Because it's like
doesn't even have AI.
because people might recognize like you have like an image of a guy, and then it moves a little bit. It doesn't move erratically. It just moves. It tilts the head a little bit, and that's like the 2.5 same 2.5D effect. It's not like you go 360 all the way, but you're able to pan and tilt a little bit, and you get some depth perception going on. It looks nice. Yeah, but I haven't.
So you're saying that someone applied AI things to StarCraft?
I don't think that is it.
Okay.
But
So
it looks
what I saw
similar.
from the video, I
Yeah.
remember from the video from the guy, and I couldn't run the thing either, was that like you could move the camera around, but the buildings would stay the same. Like they would always be facing you, even when you move around them.
Yeah, but the orientation does slightly shift, right?
Really? Yeah. Okay.
I think like
Okay.
does-
Why?
I don't think
hate
you're
3D.
you're not getting new data in terms of like more of the building, but it just like moves and
But
shifts.
what
a little
about the
bit.
terrain?
Hmm?
The terrain.
Oh, the
Can
terrain.
use-
Yeah, so it
Yeah.
looks like a low ground and high ground looks a little bit more fancy because you have a little bit more depth perception and stuff.
Mm.
I
So
don't
they-
know. It's like cinematic mode for StarCraft. It's just as
they
if you're
wrote-
like cinematic overview.
So they wrote the thing from scratch, or I can't imagine how this is done. Didn't they get like? Don't they have the tiles like for each? I don't know, for each block. I don't know. I can't imagine how they did that. I have no idea.
Me neither. Maybe we should get the guy on the podcast and ask him.
Like someone should. Oh, they have this project, right? OpenBW, which they call best war game, because if they call it Brood War, they may be sued or something. So OpenBW,
Probably.
yeah, I think they're trying to make the game from scratch, copy it or something. They could make it like a complete 2D thing with the camera on the top, and the guys are just small circles each
Mhm.
unit. Like, would be nice, right?
I think
No.
it's isometric. What we're looking for.
I don't know this word.
Do you know the technical drawing paper?
No,
Okay, then
I know
that's
technical analysis.
So we might be able
That's
to
how
do.
I get rich.
I think we should do some technical analysis on the Google Trends for Brute War, because I'm serious. I think that there is something happening. Plus, with the website, the Operation Seawall website thing, with all the replays.
that's
and,
true.
there's stuff
Do you
happening.
think it's the CIA or what?
Yes, the CIA is
trying to
behind this
distract
psyop.
us.
Yes, it's a
They try
psyop.
to distract us from Bitcoin, make everybody play StarCraft,
Yes.
and watch the Koreans.
Yes, I think it's a psyop. That's
Well,
correct.
I think there has been a small revival happening since the ASL started, right? But I think it was very small, but something was happening. Well, for example, I started watching, and then I started playing, not very well. Although I haven't played in a long time, and I'm happier not playing. Uh,
Why, fiatjaf? Are you sick of losing?
yes, it's very frustrating. It's also frustrating when I win, because when I win, I always think, oh, I just won because this guy was complete shit. It wasn't because I played well or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's frustrating too. Okay. Okay, so the revival is happening, and we'll see. Why don't they make more tournaments, like these big
Who?
ass tournaments?
Who
I don't
is
know.
supposed to do that?
I don't know. They had this KSL thing and the ASL, but then they canceled the KSL.
I don't know what the deal is. Maybe.
Have you watched those videos I sent you for the KCM? Would be nice to have the KCM with those Artosis faceless guys narrating and saying all the same things all the time. Because when I watch the Koreans, I don't understand anything they're saying. So
Nah. That's the only thing like for the Korean that's like their stop word sound thingy of affirmation. Nah. That's the only thing I do when I listen to like Koreans. When like I'm watching StarCraft and I'm listening to the Korean commentators. I like to time the to be in sync with that. So I'm like sitting behind my computer, just going along with it. Good old times. When I was thinking about like in terms of the brute war staying power, it was the first esport, but in terms of network effect, maybe some other stupid game is gonna live longer, just because it got like the masses more. So maybe the MOBA stuff, MOBA stuff is gonna survive longer than Brute War. And I don't know what particular MOBA game, like League of Legends, that's ultimately the big one, right? I don't follow that scene. Okay, yeah. So I think it's like a couple order of magnitudes bigger than what Brute War ever was, or what StarCraft 2 ever was. That if there is something to survive, it's probably going to be that and not Brute War. Because the only reason
there's Counter-Strike.
Yeah,
Counter-Strike
okay.
is very big.
Okay, that's true.
But Brood War is still older than all of these, so it's still winning.
That's also true. But I just think it so depends on Korea for its staying power, right? Outside of Korea, it's barely anything. I mean, there's probably some Hello Kitty game that has more speedrunners running it than Brute War players outside of Korea.
I think there has been a somewhat of a revival outside of Korea too, but I'm not interested. I'm only interested in the Koreans, right? So I'm fine. Like I watched some of those bombastic Star League games, and the players are so bad compared to the Koreans. It's interesting. So they're so good, but still you can see so many more. I can see many more flaws in their games than I can in the Koreans. Although the Koreans are also dumb, retarded people, like that best guy who like refuses to do upgrades and just spends all their army against tanks a million times and then loses the game. Like how can that guy be good? Like I think I'm better than him. And okay, I'll stop talking. End of the episode.
Why?
Because we must move to the other episode.
But I wasn't necessarily. I was like trying to transition in. It's like, what
is
there going to be?
Any what?
Well, it's just some permanent game like chess, for example. I mean, there are probably a lot of reasons why chess survived. Um,
Have you
so
watched the chess videos on YouTube, like the chess influencers?
no, I'm not particularly into the chess scene.
Yeah, me neither. But Hampus, for some reason, decided that he liked that and started spamming his channel with chess videos. And then I watched so many. They're funny. Some of them are funny, but then when you play that thing, it's worse than Brood War. Like it's a very disturbing, stressful game. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know why people do this. Like, I think it's only the influencers that do, and then they get money and fame, and then
No,
all the other players
a
are
lot of
trying to
people play
become.
chess.
I know, but you have to go along with me. Like, my point is a dumb point. It
The
was
same,
supposed to be funny.
the same argument you made that nobody uses stablecoins.
Nobody uses stablecoins. That's
Okay.
entirely true, right? I live in the third world, and they say, "Oh, the third world everybody uses," but they don't. So they're lying. They're full of shit. You shouldn't believe them. No one even knows. People know Bitcoin here. People, if you mention the word Bitcoin, people will know, have a vague idea of what it is. But if you say
Everybody around the world has.
USDT, no one knows what it is.
Okay, I see. Yeah, but so is there a computer game going to survive? Maybe no, because that's not true for StarCraft anymore either. It used to be a standalone game, but it isn't anymore because it's so now with remastered, it's fully integrated into the BattleNet system and stuff.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah,
those
I
servers go down, it's like, is it over? You can play offline, but I'm not sure to what extent you're able to.
Well, they had that alternative things to play, right? You didn't play on these, like in the between 2012 and 17.
What do you mean?
Like the BattleNet servers, they were. Shut
Oh,
down.
you mean iCup and stuff?
I don't know, something alternative that you had to
Yeah.
have.
Liquid had a there was a ladder server, iCup I think,
Yeah.
or IC Cup or whatever. Yeah, I think. No, yeah, that's true. That's
But
possible.
that's why I think my worst fear is that Bill Gates will shut it down and like cancel the game and remove the game from the earth. That's why I like the idea that these people are making the open best war game thing, so we can play that instead once Blizzard decides to.
Okay, so that's needed. I agree. Should we petition OpenSets to fund the development?
Yeah, and then they make all the game on Nostr. You send an event for every move.
What's the turn rate gonna be?
Well, if you only have to send the moves, right? Like if you clicking
Yep.
500 times per minute, that's 500 events that you have to send.
Nope. It
Nope?
depends on because it bunches it up in the turn rate, right? So that's the frequency of the game being played. So you
So
don't
make
actually
three
send.
actions, and you actually send one.
Yeah,
comment
depending
with
on
the three
the
actions.
time frame. Yeah.
You can also filter out the a bunch of nonsense that does nothing, like a bunch
would
of
you know?
peaks.
How would you know?
Hmm.
How
I
would
don't
you
know.
assess that it's nonsense? Anyway,
Yeah, I was trying to think, but
is there a computer game going to last forever?
I don't know how to answer this question. I don't know why you're asking this. We don't know. We don't know if computers will last forever. There's no way to answer this.
So then we transition. So I'm.
Maybe someone will come up with a new way of making computers that is completely incompatible. but then people can port, right?
Right. You can also always just run an emulator, right? I think so. You don't like governments.
Like Vitalik Buterin wanted to run a emulator for a quantum computer in a normal computer.
Yes.
I don't like governments.
Yes, you don't like governments. But what if? Hear me out. What if, like, the UN or I don't know, whatever, all the man with guns decided to enforce the rule that whatever operating system you developed in a series, right? You were forced to also release an emulator for the previous operating system.
I don't like it.
Why?
Well, you just want that to happen, but you're going to just force everybody. Then people will stop launching operating systems or something, or they will come up with a new thing that doesn't qualify as an operating system, just so it can escape this thing. Or if it's easy, maybe they will comply. But if it's easy, then other people can do it.
But do they do it?
They will do it because it's good for business. I don't know. I don't think you need this law at all.
You don't? Do we need it? Okay, so not the law, but do we need the thing? Do we need the Matryoshka doll emulator system?
I don't know what's that, but I imagine it's a kind of computer.
No, it's like the Russian dolls within a doll within a doll within, like, you know, the thing.
I see.
Well, only them for emulators.
It would end up being very unperformant.
Yes, but that's not the point. The point is not performance. The point is executability.
Well, if you can always do it, like anyone can do it. Like these people are doing the OpenBW. You don't need an emulator. If you can get, I don't know. How do they make StarCraft run on Linux if it was written for Windows? Like they did a bunch of hacks here and there without having access to the source code. They don't really
Is it not emulating? Isn't the whole Wine thing emulating?
Yeah, Wine is not an emulator.
Oh.
Yeah, it is. It is a kind of emulator, but it's not a full Windows emulator. It's just
I see.
You mock some of the calls that are needed that exist on Windows but don't exist on Linux. You make them exist. But you don't make everything. Like you just make whatever you need to get the thing running.
I see.
That's why some things work, some other things don't, and some things work partially. Okay, let's end this episode.
No, we're not gonna end the.
No, when it's gonna end. Now we're gonna talk about a new episode about Bitcoin.
Oh, okay, and emulators.
No, not emulators.
Okay.
Really, you wanna talk more about emulators?
Yes, I want to talk more about emulators. No, so apparently, what I learned, there are all these considerations that pop into your head if you're if you're dealing with history a lot. So how are you going to maintain access to like software and stuff and programs? That's the reason why I talked about the emulator and an emulator thing. It's like you're still able to run it. It doesn't perform. It performs like shit. That's not the point. The point is that you can actually run the program.
You can always reverse engineer things.
Yes, if
like people.
But that's like a friction. So this is the point, right? You say, well, you can always force yourself into the friction of getting the thing working, instead of putting it on the front. It's like whatever you're doing, it should be able to be done in 100 years as well. So make sure from the start, and then it's like trivial, and it's not like, oh, we need to run this program. Let's put an entire R&D school of reverse engineering geniuses on this to get it running again, right?
Yeah.
Because that's my point, at least. It's like, because what if
you don't know the future? Like how? What will you make differently? Like, what's the difference?
What do you mean I don't know the future? Of course I know the
You're
future.
you're going to make some kind of software today,
Yes.
and if you know you have to run it in 100 years, what do you change between like if
you don't
care at
change.
all?
You don't necessarily change anything. You just the operating system that it runs on needs to have like an emulator version of it in the. There needs to be backwards
But if you
compatibility.
you write some software today that works on Python 3.9 and then they launch Python 3.10 and then it doesn't work
Python
anymore.
versions. I love Python versions. Dependencies.
So
nice.
you must extend the law not only from operation systems to everything else.
No, why?
All the dependencies. Well,
No, of
because
course you need to know your dependencies when you have the program. The point is that if you just follow this simple logic, you can run version 1.0 or you can run every version in between there. You just have to go down the rabbit hole of emulating within an emulator within an emulator. And then wait 5 hours for it to go through one compute cycle.
Why would you want to run like 99% or more of all the things you really want? You don't want to run these things.
Okay, so in the same sense that you don't know, in the same sense that you don't know the future, you also don't know what of the past has become relevant to that future. Right? Mm-hmm. So you want to have the ability to have a look at the past and particular things within the past in order to get inspiration for solutions in the future or than the current now. So maybe if you want to do an analysis on UX, you want to go browse through all the computer programs, like maybe a particular type of computer program through the ages, right? And then you can look. It's like, oh, they build it like this, and then they build it like that, and then you have like a transition in this period of time, and they seem to be trying this over and over and over again. Whatever it is, you can. But that type of analysis is very hard to do. I mean, there's the internet.
Well, why can't you just run the same operating system? For the entire period, like for 30 years, people have been using basically the same architecture.
Yes.
Right, CPU architecture. So you can, if in 100 years from now, you want to run any of these programs, you can just start with that architecture, and then you use the operating system that was the most common for each year, something like that.
I think the problem has been kind of solved by the Internet Archive because they're doing the OS in a browser thing.
They are?
So that's smart, right? You
like what? Like what's that? The Wayback Machine thing?
Yeah, no. So you have they have the Wayback Machine, but they also have like an archive of all computer games, and you can play the computer game inside your browser. You can play Doom in your browser. It runs like shit, obviously.
Yeah, but they have Windows running in the browser, and then you execute Doom. Okay.
Yes. Well, I think it's DOS in particular for this stuff, but yeah. But yeah, so I guess there is a particular type of solution. It's just I'm just wondering. There is an inherent. Yes.
If you're listening to this podcast,
yes,
remember to subscribe and like.
Go to the Wayback Machine. Go to the page when it was 2023 and then hit like. See what happens. Okay.
Everything will be lost. All this archive, they will be lost. And all the software is on GitHub, and GitHub will shut down at some point, and everybody will lose everything.
That's probably true.
The only thing that will keep working is the Battle.net servers.
No, they're not even working now. Oh, no. Let's not talk about the Battle.net servers.
And they will be working with the same maps over and over.
I'm having a terrible time with that one.
Polypoid. Eclipse, Polypoid. Neo Sylphid.
So in terms of like civilizational memory, this is not something new, but it's like we're creating a lot of data, but we're also creating a lot of fragile data, in the sense that it's very easy to lose it and then lose it forever. It's becomes very difficult, like in terms of signal noise, to figure out what is the important data. AI, it helps on both ends. It's like a noise producer, but it might also help you to sift through data in order to find relevant information. I don't know.
Yeah,
But the image that I always have is like that the Egyptian hieroglyphs, they weren't hieroglyphs, they were like QR codes. And people would have phones and they would scan them.
Really? You think the Egyptians had phones?
No, it's like
That's quite a...
yes. That's exactly what I was thinking. No, but the point is that if like a nuke happens or something, you have all these QR codes, and then the archaeologists are looking at these QR codes and trying to decipher what like
and then they get lightning
on.
invoices. And then they try to pay, and the payment gets stuck. Their channel closes. Yeah, they have a hard time decoding because they're using batch 32M, but actually the invoices are batch 32, not M, and they have a hard time.
So yeah, so smartphone pharaohs. That's the image that I have.
Yeah, that's why they built the pyramids. Because they were in a place where their phone wouldn't ring during the night, so they would go there to sleep.
No,
it's a
smartphone factory.
Be
they're like inside the pyramids. There were all these little Chinese people making the phones.
Yeah, and that's how the Egyptians discovered America. They were trying to get to China to get more Chinese.
Yes, so the reason it's in the shape of a pyramid is that you're unable to jump off the pyramid in order to commit suicide. You don't need nets if it's a pyramid, because then you can never jump off the pyramid. Because you'll always land on another part of the pyramid.
Yeah.
So to save on nets of people committing suicide producing phones in ancient Egypt,
this is getting dark.
Okay.
You know, people are listening to this with their kids. You shouldn't talk about this.
That's the thing, right? Are people listening to this with their kids? Do you think it's important? A lot of the there was like censoring on the music on Curaçao.
Really?
So you have the songs like "Fuck you very, very much." You know that song?
No.
Oh.
Thank God.
The word "fuck" is like there a lot, so it was a lot of bleeping and things going on. But then there was another song where it's like just a line in the lyric, and then it wasn't bleeped. Anyway, what I was getting into is like, do you think that's important?
What?
To declare it's like, okay, we're not gonna cuss, and we're a family-friendly show, and then be consistent with that, and don't do any cussing.
We must. That's what the AI should be doing, right? They should rate the content beforehand. Right. They listen to the thing, right? That's what these people casting StarCraft games they should do. They should get an AI to watch the game and see if the game is good, but they don't see it. Then the AI gives them only the good games, so they can cast live, semi-live, on their streams.
And
how
also,
they're doing it today. I think today they ask someone else to watch.
No, they don't. Because I was thinking about doing that actually. Because like I'm bored. I've a whole lot of things to do. So why not go watch a whole bunch of StarCraft replays and then figure out which one the good ones.
You sell the good ones.
Yeah, and then sell them to Artosis. Maybe even just sell the replays, because what you do is you'll watch the game, you take notes on like stuff happening at certain moments and certain times at certain places, and then you watch it again, and you're able to like be right there on the spot every time something important happens, and you have like a super smooth
record
replay.
yourself. What's the thing that you do? Like you click around, seeing the good things, and then the guy that is casting, he doesn't have to worry about that.
Yes, he just has to watch.
Yeah, there's a market there for this.
I guess there is a market there. Is it a good market though?
Yeah.
And who is gonna pump my replay bags? Because then I'm gonna be producing a large replay bag, and I need someone to pump my bag before I can offload it.
Yeah.
So anything else?
Should do it as a crowdfunding, like.
Oh, that's good because then I get paid in advance, and I just don't do it.
No, but you commit to a hash of
yes
on the Bitcoin chain or something. Use BitVM for this. No, you can't. Yeah, never mind. Let's end this and go back to the other topic.
All right, let's do that.